Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Today we've got the Elite Series Legends, Series 27, I should say Elite Legends. But we've got the great Muta here in the house, very excited for this figure. Of course, now I think there's like the Walmart, like Monday Night Wars Muta that's come out that's got the Chase variants. And I'll practically have just about every Muta because I do have the the Ultimate Great Muta. I have the Chase though, I don't have the regular. Speaking of this Muta though, I do have the Taker that's in this wave. If you haven't checked that out, I did review that. Just need the Terry Funk. I would get the Billy Gunn, but I don't know if I'm gonna bother with that. I might not. I don't know though. But either way, I digress. Why don't I shut the hell up and we can get this great Muta out of his action figure box and get him out of that plastic prison now, shall we? Alrighty, you guys. Now that we've got this great Muta out of his plastic prison, we can go over the figure and all of his accessories. And of course, this great Muta does come with quite a bit of great accessories here as well. I'm sure you can tell he's got two different sets of interchangeable hands. One set already plugged into the figure, so we will take a nice look at those a little bit later on. But of course, he also does come with a set of weapon holding hands. Both sets of hands have unique finger tape to them, and I say it like that as you got the 4 fingers heavily taped up here on the one hand. Or well, is it? Yeah, it's 4 of them, even though on this hand it's just 3, which is just 3 of them, which is kind of a bit odd, but also kind of whatever, not the biggest ordeal there. But yeah, you know, it's definitely nice to see all these finger tape paints and all that kind of stuff here with this great Muta. Of course, you also have his rubber headpiece here, which is a nice sculpt. Also, I want to say reused from his Ultimate. So, you know, not a bad piece here. Can't complain at all about this. So, all the sculpting and stuff on it is quite nice. Speaking of quite nice, you have this 2-piece robe accessory here, as you've got the jacket itself. Got the nice bye-bye written on the back because this was from his last match. You've got the yellow fur here with the yellow tassels at the bottom. All the designing here is nice, and the jacket itself feels really high quality, something that will never fail with Mattel. Well, at least for the most part, when it comes to their cloth accessories, it'll never fail. But then we've got this nice cloth robe piece that does unvelcro, so you can unvelcro it to wrap it around the jacket and make sure it's got a nice snug fit on there. So that's always something nice to look forward to. Plus it's got its own nice gold and black designing there. But yeah, now we can get into this great Muta. And well, my one gripe about this figure, which you won't see because I already took care of it off camera real quick before we got into this review. Of course, I'd say first things first, we've got this beautiful modern day great Muta head scan here with the bye-bye written into the back of the head scan there. You've got the red and black face paint look that he would have on his face, but instead it's on his mask there. Quite nice detailing there, including the gray beard and just everything all around there. You've got the nice little bit of stomach hair here that was also included on his Ultimate. I want to say it's a bit more like faded here and grayish as compared to his Ultimate, which is also a nice detail. You've got the black and white, well, it would be wrist tape, but I want to say this is more or less just sleeves. As I mentioned earlier, you've got the hand tape with the 3 fingers painted here instead of it being 4, so I don't know which one's more accurate. But nice unique hand sculpt here. This is also the same sculpt you would get with the Ultimate Edition, if I recall. And then you've got this standard open palm hand, I'd say. Kind of a standard hand, but they weren't going to give us 2 hands that look like this one, especially when I don't think he really does that with the two hands, but I digress. You also get these really nice pants design here. The nice silver, black, and gold on the red pants. You got the Japanese lettering here, at least I'm assuming it's Japanese. Don't shoot me if it's not. Got this nice intricate design. There we go. That's the word I was trying to pronounce. And then you've got this rope belt here, because I know that's not a standard belt. That feels more like just a piece of tube fabric there. Of course, it doesn't feel like fabric, but then you've got standard black boots, no Ultimate Edition toe articulation or nothing, which is quite fine. I'm sure you can see that he has pinless, yes, I said it, pinless legs, so you already know those are going to be a little stiff, but with the fact that I had to hot water treat my Muta, mine aren't as stiff right now, and that's just probably because I played around with them a little bit while they were heated up, so that'll kind of solve your stiff knee problem. Of course, they're still a little stiff, but I'd rather have them be a little stiff than a little loose. No diddy. But yeah, you know, now he can also kick forward as well, because that was one problem I had there, was the kick forward. But yeah, this Muta is posing like a champ, not loose at all really. Got a nice waist on here, nice ab crunch, everything else is moving quite nice for this great Muta, and that's what you want when it comes to figures, especially figures of guys who are not even in the WWE and who are representing other companies around the world. This is a great modern day representation of Muta, in my opinion. And well, with that being said, why don't we get into a little bit of action figure comparisons now, shall we? Alrighty, you guys. Now that we've got a couple of figures here for some action figure comparisons, we've got the Chase variant Ultimate Edition Muta here on the left, and we've got the standard variation of the Shinsuke Nakamura Elite over here on the right. I would love to have the Chase variant, as the Chase variant in the red is the same attire he wore against Muta in his final match, so I don't know, maybe that might be something for me to track down here in the future. But nonetheless, I'd say this Muta stands pretty well in comparison alongside these other 2 figures here, especially because we don't, well, at least on my end, I don't really have too many people that may have fought Muta. Of course, I'm not a Muta historian, so I don't know, maybe he's fought people like Sting a bunch and Hogan or whatever, even though I only have one Hogan, so meh. But yeah, other than that, I guess we can get into the final pose and get into our final thoughts now. Well, 7 years later, I finally was able to get this Muta all posed up the way I kind of wanted to with this Shinsuke Nakamura. Muta blowing some mist in the face of Nox. If you got the Ultimate Edition, you would have this mist accessory. Though, the Muta himself, he does not hold the mist in his mouth, as I'm sure you can kind of see there. Instead, I have to prop it up in his finger like it's a big-ass green cigarette. And, I mean, it works, you know, don't get me wrong. I kind of had to do something similar with Malachi Black in my most recent pick fighting, like, video, I want to say, which was Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. highly recommend you go check that out if you guys haven't checked that out yet. But yeah, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, this great Muta is, well, in the name, pretty great. I can't complain too heavily about this Muta as far as I'd say accuracy goes. I feel like this might be like some of the best figures we've gotten so far when it comes down to the great Mutas. Just as far as accuracy goes, let alone like attires go, because I love the way the Ultimate Editions look though. I guess there are some logos that are missing from the red variant of the Ultimate Edition. I don't know about the Chase variant in the black gear, but this Muta seems to have all of his logos, and I think the Monday Night Wars has all the logos on those as well. If you do end up getting those, I'd love to have either or, like just having both of those Mutas from the Monday Night Wars sets, I feel like would be freaking phenomenal. But who knows? I just know I want to get these Mutas while they're still hitting, just because you never know when they'll just stop making Mutas, and then these figures are going to be rare as shit. And honestly, they're probably already going to be rare as shit, because Muta doesn't have a lot of figures made of him, let alone the fact of them being this damn good, in my opinion. Like, I'm sure he's got some of the classic WCW, like Hasbro's or something like that, but on the Mattel end, I don't think he had anything in the plans until recently. So I know Bill Makita would say that he's always wanted to make them, but anywho, I digress. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would I rank this great Muta? And to be honest with you, I'm going to have to give this Muta a good solid 8.5 out of 10. Only thing that's knocking points down for this was I would have loved to seen all the interchangeable hands from the Ultimate integrated here. Not just that, but I would have also loved if this head scan had like a little bit of a slit in the mouth for the like mist to go in, just because I feel like that's something the fans were instantly gonna try, was using the mist with this Muta. As you can tell, I attempted, but I don't know. Anywho, with all that being said, I do still have the Dave Meltzer star rating to do, so if I gave him an 8.5 out of 10, I feel like it's only right to give him a 4 out of 5 stars, or a 4 out of Young Buck match, I guess we could say, as I like to call it, because I like to call it the 1 to Young Buck match, because God forbid the star rating was created with the Elite's whole intention of breaking it. Of course, Dave Meltzer couldn't predict that though, because he was doing this way before that, but like, I don't know, with how much he obsesses over AEW and New Japan, God only knows. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, so on that note, if you guys would like to, feel free to like the video if you like the video, but if you guys did not like the video, well, womp womp, I guess. But if you did like the video, why not go check out some of my other ooh, well, I guess I wasn't holding that one in, but maybe feel free to go check out some of my other action figure content. As you can tell, we just uploaded, ooh, that is not focusing, so my bad, there we kind of go. If you would like to, feel free to go check out the American Badass Undertaker action figure review that we just uploaded 2 hours ago prior to recording this. We've got the Albert Monday Night Wars figure, a couple of Ultimates. We've got a lot of different things, including the pick fed content here. So I don't know what you guys are doing waiting around for some good action figure content when you got some right here, I'd say. Of course, I'm not going to compare myself to MDT, the legend, the GOAT himself, or any other creator in this community like Kyle Patterson or Peterson, I'm not exactly sure. off the top of my head, but you know, I would love to get to those scalings, I guess you could say, one day on the 1 to 10 review. But on that note though, if you guys also could, feel free to subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subs, and as you just saw, we are currently at 402. So if you guys could, feel free to subscribe. Like I said, it is free. And if you guys want to, feel free to share this with your mother, your brother, your father, your sister, your grandfather, your grandmother, your cat, your dog, your goldfish, maybe your pet raccoon if you have one. I really don't care who you share this with, but whatever may help me get more subs or more likes. Share this with the people who you feel will enjoy it the most, because at the end of the day, I want them to stay. I don't want them to just leave after like 2 months not even remembering who the hell I am because they just subscribed to me just cause. We want the channel to grow and blossom with a community that cares and that loves the content, and well, so far I feel like we're getting there. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. So on that note, have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I'm not in your time zone. But thank you all for watching, let alone watching this long. Thank you all for liking if you did, and thank you all for subscribing if you did. And on that note, we are out of here. So deuces, ooses, yay.